Hello, my name's Selena.
Hello, my name's Laura. We both work at the Bothy.
And welcome to this month's edition of Braemar TV.
Later on in 2019, we're planning to carry out a major refurbishment on the Victoria Bridge here behind me. The bridge is over 100 years old now. It's seen better days. It badly needs some work. There's obvious stuff that you can see. It really needs painted. There's less obvious stuff down below. The piers are being underscoured by the river. And following Storm Frank in 2015, actually the river has moved substantially. So the North Pier, which used to pretty much sit on the north bank, is now right in the middle of the channel. So we've got some major structural work to do first of all, underneath the water, which we're hoping will take place late summer. And then once we're through the main tourist season and we've got most of our weddings out of the way this year, we'll carry out the painting of the superstructure and any repairs to the superstructure, which will mean closing the bridge for a period of time and fully encapsulating it to allow that superstructure work to take place. Until the engineers actually get inside the bridge, inside the structure, we don't know exactly what we're going to find. So it could be 2 or 3 weeks, or it could be 2 or 3 months. But until they get into that bit, they don't really know how we're going to do it. Our preference would actually be to dismantle bits of it and take it off-site because it's easier to work on that way. But until we actually start taking it apart, we don't know what's going to be possible. So almost certainly it will be some form of encapsulation and work on site as well. So we've asked for help from the public in order to understand a bit more about the history of the bridge. It's a Category B listed structure, so it's really important that any work that we do is as sympathetic as possible. And actually it's also about understanding the human stories behind the bridge. We've already had one gentleman contact us, for example, whose grandfather worked on the bridge back in the 1900s, thereabouts, when it was being built. His job was to drive the traction engine from the quarry up at Inverrye, about 1.5 miles up the road behind us here. And he drove all the stone for the piers down here for the bridge construction. And that's something that any of the documentary historical records won't really tell us, so we start to understand a bit about the human history of the bridge as well. So really anything. It could be, in an ideal world, somebody would pull out of a drawer some as-built plans and say, my great-grandfathers had these tucked away for the last 100 years. But, you know, accepting we won't, you know, we probably won't get that, but as much information as we possibly can about the background of the bridge, just to help our understanding and how we plan the works. It will be in the hundreds of thousands of pounds. It's not a small job, it is a pretty major piece of work.
I wrote this song about my mama. It's got a nice Scottish melody to it. That sounds Scottish? Well, down at Breezy Bend, she's picking up a storm again. The bridge across the Washita is swaying. You can hear it on the wind. Hey, the music never ends. Darweeta's mandolin keeps playing. Now every hobo coming up that holler used to leave a secret mark upon her gate. It was a sign to all the others who might follow, saying stop a while and visit, man, she'll feed you beans and biscuit, man, and fix some boiling cabbage in down yonder white way. So down in Breezy Bend, she's picking up a storm again. The bridge across the Washita is swaying. You can hear it on the wind, yeah, the music never ends. Darweeta's mandolin keeps playing. Play it, mama. got lots of pots and pans and shiny things, and he promised young Darwita he would have them. Not no box of candy kisses, no, not no dolly dishes. Her one and only wish was for some brand new Mando strings. So down at Greasy Bend, she's picking up a storm again. The bridge across the Washita is swaying. You can hear it on the way, hear the music never ends. Darwita's mandolin keeps playing. My mama's mandolin keeps on playing.
Dave will have this though, Dave.
Hello, my name is Carol Patterson and we're here today at Braemar Village Hall. This week is the annual Aberdeenshire Wellbeing Festival Week, which runs from the 13th to the 19th of May. Here in Braemar we've had 2 days. Yesterday we were at the New Highland Exhibition Centre where we had an afternoon tea for people in Braemar and also from Ballater, and that part was the social side of well-being, which is very important to everybody. And although you live in a small village, it doesn't mean that you're with someone all the time. Today in the village hall we have again afternoon tea, and we have various stands and stalls showing what is available within and out with the village. We have the fire service who do free home checks. We have Tarland Climate Change Group. We have Braemar Care. We have Braemar Creative Arts, we have the Men's Shed, we have numerous things that people can come along, ask questions and find out about. And we also have our wellbeing tree, in which people today are putting leaves on to say what is important to them and their well-being. And the idea of this each year is to encourage people to think about their own well-being and other people's well-being.
So yesterday during the afternoon tea you had entertainment, dancing?
Oh yes, we had entertainment, we most certainly did, with our very own ukulele band, and with Marilyn doing some line dancing, and people joined in extremely well. Well, the ukulele band are extremely hospitable and do a lot of sort of little functions and teas and that for us.
Not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love. I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried.
And if anybody wants to find out any more information about what's happening, is there any sort of contact points? Or
there are booklets in the village, in the chemist, in the Muse, and in other places telling you what's happening all up and down Deeside. And if anybody's got anything in particular that they want to ask about, they can always come and ask me. We meet regularly in Aboyne with the Young at Heart and with the Community Learning Partnership.
Well, Alans aren't the only decent legs in Braemar. Check out these babies.
That's it for this month's edition of Braemar TV. From everybody at the Bothy, bye!
Bye! Bye!